The Echoing Laughter. I used to love bedtime stories, the ones with happy endings, the ones where good triumphed over evil. But now, when the night falls, I dread the moment I have to tuck my little daughter into bed. You see, something strange has been happening lately, something that defies explanation. It all began innocently enough. Emily, my 6-year-old, used to giggle and chatter away before bed, full of energy and imagination. But over the past few weeks, her behavior changed. She started talking about a new friend she had, someone she only referred to as the Whisperer. At first, I brushed it off as an imaginary friend, a common phase for kids her age. But something about the way she talked about the Whisperer sent shivers down my spine. Emily described her friend as having long, dark hair and a pale face. She said the Whisperer liked to play games with her, games that only they could understand. I tried to remain calm, telling myself it was all part of her imagination, but the unease never left me. Then came the laughter. Late at night, after I had put Emily to bed, I would hear soft, echoing laughter coming from her room. At first, I thought she was just playing by herself, but the laughter sounded odd, almost ethereal. It didn't sound like the joyful giggles of a child. It was more like a haunting melody that sent shivers down my spine. One night, unable to ignore my growing concern, I decided to peek into her room while the laughter echoed through the house. My heart raced as I cracked open the door, and what I saw froze me in place. Emily was sitting on her bed, her face illuminated by the soft glow of her nightlight. But she wasn't alone. There was a shadowy figure standing beside her bed, whispering something into her ear. The figure's long, dark hair hung over its face, obscuring its features. Fear gripped me, and I burst into the room, switching on the main light. The figure vanished instantly, leaving nothing but an eerie silence in its wake. Emily blinked up at me innocently, as if she hadn't noticed anything unusual. I asked her about her friend, about the Whisperer, but she only smiled and said, "You can't hear the whispers, Daddy. They're just for me." My heart pounded in my chest. Something was wrong, deeply wrong, and I didn't know how to fix it. Each night, the laughter grew louder, and I found myself lying awake, dreading the moment when the echoing melody would begin. I tried to convince myself that it was all in my head, that I was simply succumbing to exhaustion and stress. But then, one night as I lay in bed, the laughter started again. This time, it was different, louder, more insistent. I followed the sound, stepping cautiously towards Emily's room. The laughter seemed to fill the entire house, drowning out all other sounds. When I opened the door to her room, I was met with a sight that chilled me to the bone. Emily was standing in the middle of the room, her back turned to me. Her voice, distorted and hollow, joined the echoing laughter as she whispered something I couldn't understand. The shadowy figure stood before her, its long, dark hair flowing like a waterfall of darkness. And as the laughter reached a crescendo, the figure slowly turned to face me. Its face was a mirror image of Emily's, but its eyes were hollow and black, devoid of any emotion. A shiver ran down my spine as I realized what had happened. The figure had taken over my daughter, wearing her innocence like a mask. I stumbled back in horror, my mind racing for a solution. Without thinking, I grabbed a small mirror from Emily's dresser and held it up before the figure. For a moment, its gaze met its own reflection, and in that instant, a piercing scream filled the room. A scream that was a twisted fusion of Emily's voice and something much older, much darker. The figure writhed and contorted, its form dissipating like smoke until it vanished completely. The room fell into an eerie silence, broken only by my heavy breathing. Emily lay on the floor, her eyes wide and confused, as if awakening from a dream. I rushed to her side, holding her tightly as tears streamed down my face. "Daddy, what happened?" she asked, her voice small and scared. I held her even closer, my heart aching with a mixture of relief and sorrow. "It's okay now, Emily. It's all over." But as I looked into her eyes, I couldn't shake the feeling that something lingered, something dark and powerful, waiting for its chance to return. And so, as the years passed, I watched my daughter grow, always vigilant for any sign that the Whisperer might come back. Because I knew now that some nightmares are not confined to the realm of dreams. They can seep into reality, wearing the innocence of a child's laughter like a mask.